Hello everyone and happy Saturday. Thank you so much for joining me live for this training. I am so excited. I have chills, I have goosebumps, I have all of the things because I have been praying for all of the downloads to come through in my sleep. That is a skill set called lucid dreaming, and I woke up with an incredibly powerful download. And I usually don't work on Saturdays. In fact, we're getting ready to move, and so that was my plan today, but I said I gotta drop this wisdom for all of my people. So hello and thank you everyone for joining. I'm so happy that you're here. So a little bit of a recap and an overview. Today we're going to go over easy ways to identify your blocks. How to find out if you're an energetic match for your desires. Because if you are trying to manifest from this, whatever it is that you want to create, if you're not an energetic match for it, you cannot receive it. I'm going to explain what that looks like and how the whole thing works. Also, where are your blocks coming from? What is the difference between a limiting belief versus a self-preservation belief? And how are they there to support us? And also 4 powerful questions that you can ask yourself to support you in rewiring your limiting beliefs. So as you guys know, a little bit of an intro. And hello, there are many people who have joined this group. So if you're new, my name is Ashley Amudzai. I am a psychic life coach and a manifestation expert for high-performing female entrepreneurs looking to elevate their lifestyle and income from mediocre to magical. Hence the name of this group. And one of the most powerful ways that we can shift out of thoughts that are mediocre and actions that are mediocre and habits that are mediocre is to clear our blocks. And what I find with so many people, we have amazing dreams and goals and these big visions of what we want to accomplish in the world, but what holds us back is something invisible. It's maybe I'm not enough. Maybe I can't do that. Maybe people are going to make fun of me. It's this imaginary block that keeps people playing small in their life and in business. And hey, Erin, hey, everyone who's hopping on. Good morning, good morning. And it's the imaginary that holds us back and that keeps us playing small. And so this is my life's work, is to really help people release the trapped energies, the suppressed emotions, the limiting beliefs, the traumas, all of the things that are invisible in our space that keep us playing small. And I'm so grateful that this download came through because I share this with my clients one-on-one all the time. But when I'm in that session, I'm channeling. And so I don't always capture the meat of it. So this morning, I had an example for myself that came through, and I was like, I'm going to use this personal example and answer all of the questions that I've just shared with you guys of how to break that down and understand if you're an energetic match for it, for your desires, and how to identify your blocks. So we're going to dive in. I'm going to tell you a little story of what happened for me, and good morning, and how this came about. I have a routine that I do every morning. I like to give myself at least 5 minutes to visualize my millionaire morning. So for me, being a millionaire is something that it really helps me expand my vision. And so every morning I wake up and I'm like, I have so much money in abundance. How am I going to use this today? And I just go about my day in my brain doing all of the things that I would do. And a big one for me is charity, being able to give to somebody. And I have this huge goal. If I want to order from, I work from home. So I'm going to order from Uber Eats or from Postmates. And when that person comes to my doorstep, I know they're looking for extra cash, which is why they're helping doing that job, right? And what if I could just give them $500 and say, can I tip you in cash? And they're like, yeah, sure, no problem. And I give them $500. And just to see the look on their face and to know that's it'll help me. $500 is a lot to me. It's a lot to anybody. But to be able to have that amount of money to be able to bless and give them. So what happened is I was visualizing this of like I ordered my food and the person came to the door and I'm like, I'm going to give them this money. And for me, I was like, I'm going to start with $100. And I gave him $100 and I felt resistance. And I was like, whoa, why am I feeling resistance to giving somebody money? Because this is a good cause. This is what I want. So my desire is what I want, but I have resistance to getting there. Here's where we are. Here's where we want to be. Imaginary block in between. Right? So I want to give that person this money, but I can't get there because there's some resistance, right? This is how you identify your block. So that's number 1. How do you find out if you have a block? You're going to have a big visualization of what is it that you want to achieve, that you want to bring into your space. Do it in the morning or do it before bed, whatever fits into your schedule the best. But stretch your visualization, stretch your manifestation, what is that you're calling in. And when you do it enough, you're going to find out where your resistance is. That's how you identify the block. Stretch it and find out what's actually keeping me from where I am to where I want to be. What's the imaginary block? So I found out that what was blocking me is this resistance. I was like, I didn't want to give it to them. Okay, why didn't I want to give it to them? Well, what if I give them $500, and this is like a treat, right? I give them that person, and then I order from them again, and they show up on my doorstep, and they expect another $500 or another $100. Like, I can't tip somebody $500 and then give them $20 next time or $5 next time just for dropping off my food. Like, that would be inconsistent, and then I look like a phony and a fraud. I started to panic. Resistance. Another thing, I'm being super honest here with you guys as my community, and vulnerability is really key. As I'm realizing. The other thing is, I'm like, what if I give them $500 and they come back and they're like, oh, well, this woman has a lot of money, so now we're going to break into her house because she probably has a lot more. What if I set my family up for failure that way and make us not protected? What if? So these are my deep subconscious beliefs that are coming to the surface because I've now identified what that block is. So I started, okay, well, what's the root? What is the root? And what I came up with is, it was like, if I give too much, rewind. If I give, they will take too much. If I give, they will take too much. So if I give them $500, then they're going to expect that I'm going to give them more, or they're going to take too much and they're going to break into my house. And I was like, whoa, weird. That feels really true for me. Like, as a deep rooted fear that I have, if I give, they will take too much. So as you guys are listening to this, I want you to write down like quotes or little snippets that stand out to you so you can identify your own block and then work through it. This is going to be an action-packed training. So please take notes. Please ask questions. I'm totally here to support you 100%, but this is just my personal journey. So expand the vision. Identify where is the resistance, where is the block, and then also where is it coming from? What is the root of what it is, right? Because it could be all of these things, but what's like the one statement that can kind of like summarize and draw the line through all of it? And for me, it is, if I give, they will take too much. And then I ask, in what areas of my life would make me believe this? Well, being a business owner now, I work a lot in my business, and not only having a full-time client load, which I love and I'm so grateful for because it lights up my world, but also like social media and engagement and videos and email marketing, this, and then learning, and then being a mom, being a wife. Like, there's so much that when someone asks me to go for coffee, like I can't really do that because I'm busy doing other things. And what I've found when I was growing my business is someone's like, let's meet. And I would go, and what I thought would be maybe an hour-long coffee meeting would end up being 2 hours because this person had like a lot of stuff that they were unloading. And that felt like a betrayal to me because I was like, man, this is my most valuable currency that I have, and really it's limited. And I'm giving it to this person. And I felt that when I give, they take too much. Not only too much of the time, sometimes, but a lot of the energy. Have you guys ever been around someone who's like an energy vampire? And it's just like, whoa. Like, I'm a trained professional in this. This is what I do for a living. But if I'm meeting someone for coffee, it's not meant to be a client session. So the dynamic's really a bit different. And so what I realized as I was growing my business and I was getting like more professional in my practice, that it became an energy zap. Therefore, cementing the belief that when I give, people will take too much of my currency, my energy, my time, also money in this example with giving, right? They're going to expect too much. The other thing that I realized of my own programming, so take note for yourself of like, why would we believe that it's true? Because we've been either programmed, which I'll go into that, like from childhood, or it's because of adult experiences that are just re-cementing that belief into our head. Another thing is, I'm so social and I love people, but then I make all of these friends and I'm invited to all of their birthdays and their baby showers and their housewarming parties. And then all of a sudden I'm like, I have like 20 events on a Saturday to go to and I feel obligated. And so it's like, man, if I give my love and give my friendship to so many people, then I'm obligated to give, even if I don't have any more, and it feels like they're taking too much. So this is my programming. Thank you for this epiphany. I'd love to know, what is yours? What are some limiting beliefs that are showing up for you that maybe you've experienced the resistance to and identified that block? I'd love to know in the comments. So we talked about how can you find out, how you can identify where your block is. Spend time in the vision, And then narrow it down. Where is the resistance and where is that coming from? Number 2 is how can you find out you're an energetic match for your desires? This is so powerful. You guys know in here, I've had it written everywhere. I will make $20,000 in a month. The visor of my car, my mirror, it pops up on my phone. I have it right here. I have it everywhere. $20,000 in a month is what I wanted. I was just affirming over and over and over again. And I ended up doing $20,000 cash in a day. Here's how: becoming an energetic match for it. And here's how you can tell if you are or if you are not. So if somebody were to give you $5, you could take that. Say like when your grandparents or someone, they give you $5 and you're like, I can receive that. Or even maybe it's your birthday and they give you $100. You could probably receive that and be like, wow, like thank you. I really appreciate that. Now, what if a stranger on the street, so you're an energetic match for that number. And we're all about, again, like expanding the vision. What if someone gave you $20,000 on the street? They handed you $20,000. How would that make you feel? Like, would you take it? Would you be like, ooh, I can't take that because, I don't know, like the mafia is going to be after me or something like that. Is that how you would feel? Probably, right? Let's say if it's like $50,000. So we can receive money up until a point, and that point of resistance is our block. And that means that we're not an energetic match for it. But I can say for me, if someone were to hand me $1 million in the street, I've been preparing for this my whole life, and that's my affirmation. I was like, I'm going to be a millionaire. I wake up with my millionaire dreams every day. So I always say this, don't just dream your dream, prepare for it. Like I've been preparing for it. So I'm an energetic match for $1 million to show up for me anytime, whatever that looks like. So I encourage you, use that range and that scale to find out where is the block, where is the resistance, and are you an energetic match for it? Because that is super duper duper important. And hey, Jennifer, and all of my friends. Okay, so another example of this with the example that I was from my dream was if I gave the guy $20 or $5 for bringing me my Uber Eats. Totally reasonable. $5, cool with it. $20, cool. $50, I could tip him $50 and not worry about that person, I give and they take too much. But if I do $100, then I get a little bit weary because it triggers that wound and that fear of if I give, they'll take too much. What if I do $500? I'm not an energetic match to give that, right? Because it makes me too fearful. So here's what we're doing. Here's where we are. Here's where we want to be. And here's the imaginary block. So if I'm saying in my mind, I'm manifesting, Holy God, Creator, Source, all that is good in the universe, I am so excited and so available to receive the great waves of abundance that are coming for me. And a large part of what I want to do is offer that up to charity. But then I have resistance to giving $500 to tip the guy. It's very incongruent. I want the money I can give to charity, but I'm afraid to give more than $500 with them knowing, because what if they come and break into my house? Or what if they expect more? Do you see? We're not an energetic match for it. I'm finding my own incongruence in wanting to give and not being able to because of my own blocks. So let me know if that's making sense for you guys. Noelle says, what does it mean if you would feel guilty taking the money from the person? So that's just something to work through with guilt. Okay, Noelle, thank you so much for sharing that, because we're going to move into the other parts of this to help you navigate that. Because really what you're feeling is the guilt. So we're going to hold on to that and we're going to identify where did it come from. If we figured out the block, we figured out the resistance, now we're going to figure out where it came from. So that is that. The other thing I want to mention is for me too, is I can give money anonymously, but if people know that I gave it to them, I have fear. So it's the fear of being seen also. So there are many, many layers. You can see there are many, many layers to us and what we have to offer and we have to experience in this breakdown. So how to find the block, how to find out if you're an energetic match for your desires, and if there's any incongruencies. Okay, so Noelle, this one is for you. We want to identify where the block came from. Now, I have found, I literally woke up and made this up this morning, but I realized that there's limiting beliefs, but there's also self-preservation beliefs. And self-preservation is keeping yourself alive. That's what it is. And so it's kind of self-explanatory in that way. So a limiting belief is something that is a childhood experience, right? Like kids they're free and they're wild and they are so confident and they believe they can fly and the fastest runners with the right shoes, right? They believe in anything. But a limiting belief is usually installed in us in our programming ages, like in the womb space to about 5 and kind of all the way up until like age 8. And it's other people's belief that they put on us. So if we say, oh, humans can't fly, a kid is like, really? Oh my gosh, that's such a crazy concept. It must be true. So a question we can ask ourselves is, whose voice is that? Maybe a limiting belief could show up as like, I'm always going to be fat. I'm never going to make enough money. I'll never be beautiful to attract a attractive person. I heard that one as a limiting belief recently, right? Like that's a limiting belief. It's not ours. It's somebody else's voice in our head that is making us feel that way. So there's that limiting belief. The question you can ask is, whose voice is that? Then there is, and so Noelle, this might be for you too, the self-preservation belief. The self-preservation belief is what I realized mine was. And you can tell that it's a self-preservation belief because it's like an if-then statement. If I give, then they will take too much. If I trust someone, they will probably burn me. If I fall in love, then my heart will be broken. And this is based on adult experiences that we've had that are these patterns that we subconsciously attract, right? Because we have this subconscious program and we end up attracting that again and again, that same pattern. And then it reinstills, just like how mine was. If I give, then people will take too much, not just in life, but in my time and in energy, etc., etc. So we want to ask, like, why do I believe this? What are the patterns that have been showing up? So for you, Noelle, what does it mean if I would feel guilty taking the money from this person? In what other area of your life have you received money and then had your hand slapped for it? In what other area have you maybe received like a compliment, just kind of vision? Like if you received a compliment and someone's like, no, you're not. Here's what I'm seeing. This isn't necessarily for you. This is like an overall one of, there's a mom, there's a child, and there's someone else. And this someone else is like an outsider, and the outsider says to the little kid of like, wow, you are so smart. You are so smart. You are brilliant. And then the parent says, she's not that good. Don't let her fool you, right? So like you received that compliment. And this isn't necessarily for you. This is just like the metaphor and the vision that I'm seeing as an expression of this, is you may like receive that compliment and want to, and then someone else just like batted it out of the way. So that way we have to feel guilty for even wanting to receive that emotion, that compliment, that money, right? Have you ever had that? This is a personal example that I had where my grandmother, she gave me money for something and I really needed it at the time and I didn't ask for it, something that she gave to me as a gift. And I was like, wow, Grandma, like, thank you so much. This is totally saving my tail. Like, I was like early in college, 18 years old, you know, I could really use this for like extra tires on my car or something I really, really needed. And my aunt found out that my grandma gave it to her. And I don't know if she was jealous or what, but she called me up and was like screaming at me. And I was like, whoa, it was a gift. I didn't ask for it. I don't know what it is. So I wanted to receive that money and she just like batted it out of my hands in just this very rude, abrasive way. And so it's like, oh, I guess I can't receive money because then other people might come out of the woodwork and I'll feel that their pain and their heat, right? Therefore, it's a self-preservation belief because if I take money, then someone will judge me. If I take money, someone might think differently of me. And so I'm curious to know for you, Noelle, what's showing up for you around that guilt. Because it could be self-preservation, or it could be the limiting belief that someone told you at a very, very young age that we don't take money unless you've earned it. Ding, ding, ding. Is this another one for you? A lot of times, this has been coming up in so many of my sessions. You guys, this is going to change your life. Again, where we are, where we want to be, the imaginary block is here. What I've recently realized is I was using the verbiage, I have to work so hard to be where I am. I've had to struggle so much to be where I am. I work my ass off to be able to grow my business to where it is and to this. What am I saying? All of this, I have to work hard in order to make money. So the subconscious programming that's like, what? Coming out of my mouth is, I have to work so hard for money. I have to struggle for it. Where I am, here's the money. But before I can receive the money, I'm putting this invisible block right here that says I must struggle. Because if I don't struggle, then I'm not able to receive it. What if struggle was not a criteria for success or to receive success or abundance? What if we completely remove it all together and this just a clean track to get right to where we want, right? So what if guilt has been a prerequisite for you, Noelle, or anybody else who's on here? Because it's like, if I didn't work for it and it just comes to me, oh, I didn't deserve that. I mean, I'm not worthy of that. Do you see? Like how these blocks can like run our life. It's so crazy. And so that's what we want to focus on. And so I'd love to see how that lands with you. And then also for anybody else, if that's showing up, because like this is our community. I'm not here to just like barf all this information. I want you to have deep transformation. If you have opportunity to be on this live and ask questions, I am totally here for you. And hey, Kaylee, see you guys on here. So we went over finding the block. If you're an energetic match, now where did the block come from? Is it a limiting belief? If it is, you can ask, whose voice is that? If it's a self-preservation belief, you're going to ask, what patterns in my adult life have committed this to memory, committed this to my subconscious? Okay, now 4 questions that you can ask yourself to rewire the belief. So we've gone through it with my story too, right? I identified my own resistance to giving this person money, and then that I'm not an energetic match for $500. I don't want people to see me give them $500 with my face attached to it. It makes me really uncomfortable. And that's a self-preservation belief, right? So we're working through that. Now the questions that you can ask. Number 1, is this ultimately true? Is this ultimately true that I have to feel guilty for receiving money? Is this ultimately true that when I give, they will take too much? And the answer is usually no. Like, no, it's not ultimately true, because we can go out there and we can find evidence of it not being true, right? That like, oh, I can receive money and not be guilty, like a scholarship, right? For example, or maybe a stimulus package. Maybe with all that going on, maybe we can receive that without guilt and we can say, hey, thanks, I pay taxes for this. But we want to prove to ourselves that it's not ultimately true, because it's not ultimately true, then there's an opportunity for us to switch the belief. Okay, number 2 is what would it take for this not to be true? What would I have to believe for this not to be true? So this is kind of when we come up with the action plan. So for example, for me, as I was processing this, if I give, then they will take too much. For it not to be true, I would just have to set healthy boundaries, right? I have to set healthy boundaries. So if I go to my coffee appointment, maybe I say, hey, I've got 30 minutes here today. Maybe I have 40 minutes for us to be here today. Like, I'm so excited. I'm going to set my alarm and my timer so that way we have a heads up and we can wrap things up. Healthy boundaries, using healthy verbiage, so that way I don't feel and reinforce when I give they take too much of my time or my energy. Also, what I could use is use verbiage of when I, if it gets too in-depth and it becomes kind of emotionally draining because I'm not wearing my coach hat, I'm wearing my friend hat, then I can have verbiage of like, hey, this sounds like a really great opportunity for us to step into a session. Are you open to booking that? Right? So having verbiage in our back pocket to protect us, if that resonates with you. But definitely for me, that's something that would help. And then also, I don't have to give people $500. I can give them $100. If I gave somebody $20 for a tip for dropping off Uber Eats, they're probably going to be really excited, So we don't have to push it that far. So there are ways that we can, in an action plan that we can create to completely demystify and the limiting belief and dissolve it. And also before I go on here, hello, I see Kaylee, she says, great topic. Noelle says, yes, this brings up a memory of when my ex-stepdad was irate when my dad took me to a baseball game. Did I say that? When my dad took me to a baseball game over her, and she took that anger out on me and actually told me the wife should always come first and I should not be being taken. Yes, although it wasn't monetary exactly, it was a gift from my dad. Yes. That's what it is. Do you guys see how this is? It's like literally buried and embedded within our brain spaces, and it's in these memories that we believe to be true. So if we ask, is it ultimately true? Let's find evidence that it's not. No. What would it take for it not to be true? What is an action plan? What are things that we can have in our pocket so we feel safe and we completely diffuse it all together? Number 3, what do I need to believe to achieve the desired outcome? What do I need to believe in order to achieve the desired outcome? So for you, Noelle, in this beautiful example of feeling guilty when you take or receive money, and that's the other thing too. It's not taking money, it's receiving. Taking is stealing, right? So receiving. receive money from other people, we would have to believe that it's safe and it is a gift, and also that money is evergreen. It flows. When we go like this and we white knuckle whatever it is that we desire, we want, especially money, and we save and we hoard and no one can have it. When we do that, it doesn't allow it to come and go freely. So if we feel and have the energy that we are taking somebody's energy and therefore there's not enough around, that creates lack. None of that is true. Money and abundance are all around us. People are giving away millions of dollars every day. If you guys are curious on how to win millions of dollars and 25,000 chunks, $15,000 chunks, $1,000 chunks, I want you to comment in the right now, comment box right now. Ashley, I want details on that, because you guys know I'm obsessed with winning money because I want to be the psychic who won the lotto. And that sounds silly. It's not an ego thing. I'm a manifestation expert. And so it's one of those things that I use to practice in a way. And so I actually found a really cool website that has all these free sweepstakes that you can enter, and people are giving away money. So if you're interested and want to amplify your manifestation practice, let me know and I will share that below. So the third question, yes, is what do I need to believe for the desired outcome? You need to believe that there's always enough abundance out there, so you can receive that money and it's not going to hurt anybody else. We can receive it and it's safe. It's safe to claim it as our own. It's safe to say thank you and know that that person isn't broke because of it, right? So that's what we have to believe. For me, she's like, I want details. I will share it with you. All my clients get the inside scoop on all of the things, and I really want to gift that to you guys today too. So for me, what I would have to share with myself and to believe for it to be ultimately true is that it is safe for me to share my money. It's not that there's always enough, because I don't have a money block around that, but it's safe for me to trust other people with my money. That's what it was. It's safe for me to trust other people with my money. I have to believe that it's safe, because if I don't, like the subconscious thoughts are going to say, it's not safe, don't do it. Don't make money, Ashley, because if you do, people might know how much you have and they might come after you. That is a deep-seated fear, because I have a lot of trauma in my family and like bloodthirsty people who are so happy and crazy. And so obviously this is why I have this fear. But what if I believe differently? What do I have to believe in order for the desired outcome to be, which is where it's at ease for me to give, to receive, to flow? It would have to be that it is safe. So the fourth one is, what is the affirmation needed to shift your perspective? We have been blessed with the most simple tools to help us in life, like breath, right? Like breath. You can't even see breath. You can't see it, right? You can only feel it, and you can't go more than a couple of minutes without your breath, because if you don't, brain cells start dying, right? Like God gave us breath. You can't see it, you can only feel it, and it's here for you anytime you need it. But it's the most simple thing that people forget to do, and they dismiss because it's so easy. I feel the exact same way about affirmations. They're like, oh, what am I going to do? Just say this thing every day and it's going to shift my mind. And it's like, yes, and you got to believe it. It's got to be really accurate for you. And you got to say it consistently, because we're working with our conscious mind, and we're also working with our subconscious mind. Subconscious mind is what goes out there into the world and manifests your reality. You guys, I have been saying, I could show you too. Here's this. Well, okay, it's going to go on a little stand. So, you guys know I'm all about manifestation. I use affirmation everywhere. The visor of my car, my mirror, that mirror. I have them on my window. I have like a 2-window in my my master bedroom. 2-window, whatever they're called, like sliding glass door. They have my affirmations on there. They're absolutely everywhere, because we need to train our brain, tell it what we're actually looking for. Not for lower vibrational beliefs of like, oh, when I give they'll take too much. No, we want to rewire that to say it's safe to make money. It is safe to give. People are grateful. They don't, you know what I mean? So pick an affirmation that's going to work for you, and especially one that's going to shift this limiting belief. So it's opposite of what you're thinking of. And so for you, Noelle, since you have spoken up, thank you so bravely to use this as an example. The original belief is, I feel guilty taking money from other people. It is safe for me to receive money from others or from the universe, from our experience. It is safe for me to receive money because there's always enough to go around. How does that feel? Now imagine you say that every day and you're like, it is safe for me to receive money because there's always enough to go around. Can you just like feel that melting away? So that's the fourth thing. What is the affirmation needed to shift our perspective around it? And you say it, you commit to it. And what's going to happen, it's just like what's coming to mind is great marketing when it's like Red Robin, yum, right? Like you automatically finish the rest of the lines. Or Nike, and you're like, oh, just do it. Like you have your brain trained with a subconscious programming of what the rest of that is. And you have a new belief around it. And so that's what we want to do here too, is like, it is safe. Say it again and again and again. So your conscious mind gets it, your subconscious mind gets it. And then every cell in your body, your muscles, your tissue, your bones, your blood, your spirit energy, your spirit body, everything feels and resonates with that truth. So for me, I need to think of one still because I didn't get that far in the training. I was so excited to share it with you guys. But if my original belief is, if I give, they will take too much, mine would be, I'm open to what you guys think too. Mine would be along the lines of, it is safe for me to receive. It is safe for me to give money. I am protected. Like my money is protected. I think that's what it would be. My money is protected. For so many years, money has been taken away from me. And in really bad ways. And so it doesn't feel safe to have it. And it sometimes doesn't feel safe to give it. I think that's what it is. So I'll have to work on that and figure out what it is. It's easier for me to channel for other people than sometimes myself. But if I give, they will take too much. Let me just lean into that. When I give, what should the rest of that be? Like, when I give, the world receives it freely, or like basically people are grateful. So I'll have to dive into that a little bit more, but you'll see with this whole process how we can break it down. An easy way to identify the block, which is to expand your vision. Expand your vision until it becomes uncomfortable. Here's where you want to be, or here's where you are, here's where you want to be, and just expand your vision until you come to resistance. And then you're like, whoa, why can't I visualize it? Why can't I see it? Right here is your block. You just identified it. And then find out if you're an energetic match for your desires, right? What's working for you and what's not. If you guys have more questions, you can, if you're just hopping on, you can watch the replay of this and go through all the details. Where's the block coming from? Is that from a childhood programming that is a limiting belief? Ask yourself, whose voice is that? Because it's probably not yours. Or is this a self-preservation belief? And it's something that through adult experiences, you've just recommitted and cemented into your mind as a belief, which that also is telling that we need to break that, snip that pattern. If you want help with that, I'm here. I am totally here. We can dive into that too. And then of course the questions to ask yourself to rewire a belief, which is this ultimately true? Let's look for evidence that it's not, because it probably isn't, right? There's so much abundance out there. We just need to shift our perspective. 2, what would it take for this not to be true? What would it take for it not to be true? What do I need to believe to achieve the desired outcome? And then number 4, what is the affirmation needed to shift my perspective? And this is so powerful. I cannot wait to put this in a PDF, put this in something that's really formal, and then offer it to you guys and do more of like a webinar format. So I'd love to know, what did you find most valuable? What stood out to you? What were some of your takeaways? I create all of my content based on your ahas and what landed best with you. Eric, my sweet brother, you say, it is safe for me to deliver my content and coaching program without feeling self-conscious and judgment and without feeling fear of failure. Yes. With that, I feel safe to receive money for the value I have given my clients. Yes, doesn't that feel so good? So many of us just desire safety. Safety to charge, to take money, to receive money. Like, it's so funny. Like, why have we been programmed that it's not safe, you know? So I love that. Thank you for that insight and for sharing. And I love you guys so much. Happy Saturday. Wishing you an amazing day full of all the amazing things, and I will chat with you soon. Bye, guys.